A pleasant good evening to each and everyone in Georgetown, Guyana, the diaspora, and the world at large. Friends all. Every day I try to come up with something to do with our country future. And yes, when I say our country future, Guyana, because I'm a mixed race. I cannot go to India nor Africa and be accepted unless I get a visa and try to blend in. But Guyana cannot reject me. Today, I become a citizen of the United States, and to make it clear, we will defend this country regardless of the consequences. But Guyana is a country that both major races must sit down carefully and take a good look back and realize where was the mistake and who caused it. Why am I saying this? Those who born after 1966, the 26th of May, you don't know anything about the history of the country. But as you grow and live between it, you will remember two things: racism and corruption. And that is how Guyana had developed and run from 66 onto this present day. I read a comment where someone wrote that the Indians are doing the blacks the same thing what the blacks have done to them. At least the brother acknowledge or the sister acknowledge what the blacks have done to the Indian. For him or her to come up and say the Indians are doing the same thing to them. Let me make it clear. I don't think the individual understand what they are saying. If the Indian had only do to the blacks what the blacks have done in the 60s and during Barnum time reign in power, black people would not like it. But Indian, and I make it clear, I'm not defending nobody, we are dealing with a situation where one race bent upon racism. Black power movement is responsible for that. Before the coming of the two diseases, Burnham and Jagan, Guyanese, Indian and black was living like brothers and sisters, uncle and auntie, daddy and mommy, until this two-bloody disease. And the country can never come to grip, even until now. These two races will hate each other unless God himself come into play. And I cannot blame the Indian for what the blacks have done to them. And if any black people, and I'm not saying all of you have done it, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of decent, honorable black people stand up against what the blacks was doing to the Indian. And other race, by the way. Tell me in the time in a country where you are the great-grandchildren of slavery, 90-something% of the civil servants was all black. Military, police, postman, postwoman, and even teachers. I'm a mixed race, I'm telling you all this. Prove me wrong. Okay? The only way for Guyana to come to grip, we need a leader who is not of Indian and African descent, but a born, well-groomed Guyanese. We are seeing a lot of things happening in Guyana in the past, and still happening today. I want to break it down clearly. What had happened to the Indians under the Burnham time and before in the 60s in Madhya, Mackenzie, Wisma, Buxton, Pleasance, Stouffville, then Amstel, and many hot spots until the Indians start to retaliate, and then an end came to it because the Indian didn't have the manpower. While the blacks was backed by the CIA, John F. Kennedy administration, because of communism. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to make this clear. I'm not defending nobody. I would rather rule by a racist until we sit down and have a dialogue and we will come out laughing and talking and correct the mistake. And yes, the black must not deny that you was misled by Burnham and the Black Power movements, men like Stokely Carmichael, Malcolm X, and many great historians, as you call yourself, and all originated from Mother Africa, that the white man slave your ancestor. So you, the modern black man in the Caribbean and Guyana, will not be allowed to be slave, but you slave others. You will treat them. You hurt them. And when you are going to deny these things, then there is no room for correction. Again, not all black people was involved in it. The decent, honorable one keep out. Many was mixed marriage. And yes, that is the curse of the black man. Quick to get into tribal affair, beat, loot, kill, rape, and other things, but when your turn come to get back your penalty, you cry wolf, you cry slavery, you cry this, but let me tell you, that is your problem. While on the other hand, dealing with the East Indian, they are not racial people. They are so bloody corrupt, presumptuous, vindictive, covetous, spiteful, and very ungrateful. So for my black brothers and sisters who make the comment that the Indians are doing the same thing to the black people, at least you get one thing right. If they are doing the same thing, prove to me where the Indian go into a black neighborhood, beat them, break up the market stall, and do them like what the blacks have just done on the East Coast, with the Bacchus son was gunned down by a police officer, and with the all demonstration, they went into the market where the woman cried $3 million of Cheruti and Polari was destroyed. If you are not going to accept your fault, there will be no room to repair the damages. So we call upon the decent blacks to unite. This is not about power, since you are claiming emancipation. If you claim emancipation and you're free, then Africa is only 10 hours, depends which side of the equator you're going to travel from. Think of what I'm telling you. Because you heard about Africa, but none of you want to go there to live. Some of you don't even want them in the Caribbean because you all said they sell your ancestors as slaves. Even in America, some blacks Americans don't want them here neither because they're blaming them for what happened with the slave trade, but not acknowledging the European was slave also as the white man. And whatever happened in the slave trade, even the Bible, God, Jehovah, Muhammad, Allah, whatever you want to call him, he had allowed his people to be slaves. And when you, the blacks, will tell me, y'all was the king, y'all was so great, what make you lose the power? Was it tribalism? Fighting against your own brother? Instead of killing him, you sell him to the white man? And today the generation out of Africa from that disaster still will not accept the future. Today, many parts of Africa, they don't even have a proper road or street light or water pipe. One thing the European done, when they enter any country, first thing they try to do is to get water, light, and a good street to walk, to protect them from anything else. Then they give you a church of a white Jesus. Whether he was black, brown, or yellow, none of us don't know that, but given Mother Africa, if that is the beginning and the cradle of civilization, then the word Africa may have another meaning. What do you mean? The world at large? What do you mean? The beginning of time? We may never know that because we follow the teaching of the European, France, Holland, Belgium, England, Germans. And a lot of things was not right in Africa. The time of child mother and child father is over. The time of 1 man, 1, 4, and 7 wives must be over. Because we are blaming the white man for slavery. But are we prepared to give up our clothes and go back to tribalism in Africa? Run barefoot, with a ring in our nose, and running from our tribal family? Let it be known to you in the Caribbean and out of Africa, it was your ancestor that sold you to the Europeans, who find uses to bring you into countries that they kill the native and put you all in control. And today, they give you independence. Then you should go back to Africa, leave the West Indies and Guyana alone, because you was given a raw deal from the European. Mr. Ali, as president of Guyana, an Indian descendant, went to the UN and he asked for reparations for the African slaves. The Pan-African slave trade he spoke about. Then he went to England and he said the same thing. I admire him for that, but did he ask for whatever ration for the Amerindian that he is president of their country today when he came from India as cheap labor? Friends, be careful how you're throwing your shit. Be careful how you're throwing that. Because when you're trying to make correction, then you will have to take off the three-piece suit, take off the black shoes, and go back to India in a dhoti or a dress code. Civilization had a part to play. I don't hear the Chinese talk of slavery. They were slaves too. Even on their own in China, the walls of China was built with slaves. Their own. Over Genghis Khan and all them Khan. India, even on to today, economical slavery and slavery, prostitution, plenty. Theft, plenty. A lot of wrong things are happening, but you don't get to hear it. Africa, the same. So I am saying to both major race in Guyana, stop talking about racism and accept the fault under the Burnham regime from the 60s until the power came out of his hand. And even David Granger, it is stated, it's alleged, when he became president, it's alleged, he says, too many young black boys in prison. I didn't hear you talk about an East Indian, an Amerindian, the native child of the country. I didn't hear you talk about the mixed race. Friends, when you want it to be fair, you must be fair all over. Okay? The tape must be 12 inches for 12 inches, not 12 for me and 9 for somebody else. It is plain and simple. We are living in a world today that we don't know what the future holds tomorrow. We have seen war in Ukraine with Russia. We see problem in India, problem in Africa. We see Israel versus the Palestinians. And if I could have turned back the clock today, I would have rather have the Jews in Guyana, because 1947, and I keep repeating it, they would have been in Guyana. I was also made to understand today that Maduro is building up a strong military force along the border of Venezuela, overlooking Coco and other area. And yes, because they claim that Guyana belongs to Venezuela. But who does Venezuela belong to? Not Maduro, not Spanish. It belongs to the indigenous people. And therefore, Guyana should elect an Amerindian to be the leader of the country so they could put a writ in the UN and in the High Court to claim Caracas because it's a child of the surface of the land. Since knowing black people claim in Africa, Indians claim in India, the Spaniards call themselves Spanish must claim Spain because it's an Amerindian country. I just want to be fair here. Because I don't hear the Chinese talking slavery. They were slaves too. Hong Kong was given back independence the year 2000. China is in control of the motherland. Hong Kong and mainland China. The whole of Africa is free. India is free, divided by religion. Think of it. Bangladesh even demanded independence in 1976 from Pakistan. My friends, today I must be honest with you. This generation of today must not answer the fault of the past and the sins of Burnham. Now, Dr. Jagan, what happened to the late Walter Rodney? He was a black young man. He was a historian, a scholar. He rebelled against Burnham. He could have shut his mouth and drink the soup. He would have been alive today. But he decided to fight for humanity and equality, and he lost his life for both major races, the Indian and the blacks. And this is how they all reward him. Still holding on to racism. Indians are not racist. They are the most corrupt human being they got on the face of the earth. India, a leader, Moodia, whatever they call him. He said India is for Hindus. It was on CNN. It was on other news media. I'm sorry, Al Jazeera. Think of it. A 13 or 14-year young Indian girl, because she's a Muslim, was beaten with a sledgehammer in her head and killed her. I called upon the president of Guyana and the Guyanese people to stand up and pull Guyana ambassador out of India. Now, I want you all to examine this carefully. Mr. Van West Charles had formed a party. I joined it, like I joined Joey party. I'm a Guyanese. I joined every political party to bring about peace in Guyana and to unite. I believe that every Guyanese family should have a piece of land to build a house and money to build it. Who are your ministers? What is your president? When you go to the election, you vote to put somebody there that will do what you think should be right, not to fill their pocket. Make laws so they cannot be tried, but you can be tried. Those are not leaders. Those are what I call dictators in modern times. Instead of calling them pirates, they're nothing but thieves. You put them there. Then, in the court, they control it. They control the court. They control the judges, the magistrate. The DPP have no voice. One telephone call, they will even kill Jesus and Muhammad. All because of money and maybe threats. Come on. You, the young black man and woman, wake up. You've been betrayed by Burnham. Hyde tried his best. Rodney tried to bring salvation and freedom to Guyana. And you, East Indian, wake up. Teddy Jagan had betrayed you. And today we are living in a time, what we are see happening, let it be known to both races. No crime shall go unpaid. Unfortunately, Jesus said it, and I quote, your children shall answer the call. I think the 5th or 7th generation. Why the children have to answer the call for the parents is something I cannot understand. But then it's simple. The children benefit from the crime that was committed by their parents towards innocent people. If the Indian kill a black man because he speaks the truth, he's wrong. The man have a right. If a black man kill an Indian because he speaks the truth, he's wrong, because the man is right, standing up for what is right. But Guyana, there's two diseases. How long you all going to hold on to it? There will be no changes in Guyana. And your neighboring country will be easy to take your country over. Why your ministers in government, present and past, you got to wait on them to give you permission to get a piece of land, but they give it to friends and family. Barrett Jagger said in a meeting in Queens, I was there. He gave Burnham that to the old back of the garden, and she sold it. She sold it to make a nice piece of change. Did he give the Indians anything? Even though they vote for him? Come on, Ali. And I was made to understand, it's alleged, don't hold it against me. When David was president, something with the whales, I heard it was sold to some Grenadian person. It's alleged. If these things are true, why the black people on the side of Wales didn't get land to build a house. If it is true, I don't know. It's alleged because Guyanese say things without proof. So we got to continue using the word it's alleged and make a pledge. Let's unite and remove these termites and cancer that is holding your future back of your generation. None of us will live forever. I never see a black man, businessman, buy a cemetery yard and put business, but Indian buying the cemeteries and putting their business. They have no respect for the dead who's resting in peace. Think of it. Sometimes I wish it was a Dutchman place they buy. For the whole land for them, I gotta jump in through the window or crash in the car. These are people you cannot trust. From India to wherever they are. But again, there's good one amongst them. Somebody say in the comment, I am living in a different world or a different planet. No, sir. Or madam. I'm living in the same planet you are living in, but I am trying to justify this crime. One says in the comment, God talked to him because if I shoot my brother, I should have been in jail. I throw a cup of hot in my mother's face, I should have been in jail. He said it in the comment, I'm only replying. Is my mother better than yours? Is my brother better than yours? If my mother commit a crime against somebody's mother, and she was told not to do it over and over by accusation, is that fair? Come on. If my brother pull a knife or your brother pull a knife on you and you're begging him to put it down and he refused and you have a gun, you shoot to kill, you shoot him to lay him up. Are you doing anything wrong? Then we should tell Russia, stop bombing Ukraine. We should tell the Israelites, stop killing the Palestinians. And tell America, stop getting into physical battle with country if they don't follow your policy. And that is only your policy. Think of Pearl Harbor. America threw 2 bombs in Japan. If they didn't surrender, there wouldn't be a Japan today. Friends, we have to make it clear. We all want justice. We all want justice. But what can we do? In the name of God Almighty, whenever will we wake up to civilization and accept our fault and repair the damages and go forward? Indians, as I said it, are not racial people. They are very corrupt, very jealousful, very spiteful, very revengeful. They will do anything. They will do anything to make life easy for themselves. They will kill their own mother, brother, father. Everything necessary they will do because they believe they are better than everyone. But on the other hand, friends, not all Indians are the same. But when comes about your life, when a man could kill his own mother, beat his own father for their property, or an Indian could kill her own daughter, put you in a suitcase, where will they put you and me? Tell me. So I want to be fair. I cannot call a wolf a tiger, nor a lion a tiger. They're 3 different animals. A tiger never satisfies. If it's 1,000 sheep, it will kill all, but can't even eat one. An Indian are the same. If a wolf attack a flock of sheep, it's only 1 or 2, because it think of the future. But a tiger is a wild animal that will kill everything that he moves, even though he can only eat a piece of one. Indians are like that, covetous, vindictive, jealousful. But again, you have good and bad amongst every race. Imagine I spoke out against AFC and says, after fooling the coolie, or after fooling the country. And Mr. Ramjatan, that bastard, used it against my child. And David Granger, the president, a black man, as they say, or he mixed with Portuguese, allowed that under his watch. I call upon God Almighty to deal with the children of all who was in power when mine was denied justice, when Indian went to destroy his business, and the camera show everything when he wasn't there. But Providence police, black police, they want $1 million. That's the way of extortion, and you're talking about rights? Tell me, if the Jews was in Guyana, they would have wiped both of you out. One is racial and one is corrupt, covetous, vindictive, spiteful. And when I talk, oh, he don't like black people, he don't like Indian people, y'all are full of shit. Trust me, I don't like the behavior how y'all behave. Come on. Indians only care for their immediate self. Very few care for the in-laws and the father and the mother. But as a human that I'm living in this world, if my children commit a crime by hurting innocent people, and I have to kill them, so it will be. So if you won't hurt mine, must I leave you to God? Friends, you better wake up. Let's talk and unite and make this world a better place. None of us will live forever. So that priest, who he said, God talked to him. I wanted for Satan. So I would allow my mother to humiliate another man's mother, insulting her, embarrassing her, accusing her wrongfully when she had never seen the person and was told 101 times by me, Mother, stop it. Stop insulting this woman. She's innocent. She have never seen you. My mother humiliate me and insult me and curse me. That's okay. That's okay. But don't do it to others. What did Jesus say, that man who God talked to? Do unto others as you would like them do unto you. Isn't that true? And then again, you black people talking about slavery. What you all have done with the Amerindian in their own country? Plenty police rape their women, screw them. Leave them pregnant or run away from their responsibility. You do it to your own also. But you got a saying. You could hurt your own, but don't hurt the other one because they can always talk. Right? Indians open a whole house and put him their own inside, much less others. Liquor store. And the most liarest people in Guyana, I'm sorry, is you Indian. You drop tears more than rainfall to set an example to gain sympathy. I have problem with my children. And I will not hesitate to blow their head off. I'm telling you here. Because we need justice. Do unto others you like them do unto you. And I will be honest, I am very kind and love to be in peace. But would I allow you to kick my door down, rape my wife, rape my daughter, and I watch you and you will shoot at me? I only begging God to survive. Because you will get it back. Why must I leave you to God when He drunk the wall and only save it? And He's God. And He forever and ever. I'm temporary. But you come and you do me such a wrong, but I must hand you to the same law. You out of your effing mind, man. Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, it may sound very irrational the way I speak to you. But if you know that you will be killed if you kill, you will never kill. If you know your hand will be chopped out if you thief, you'll never thief. I don't blame the politicians them in Guyana. I blame the voters. Who killed Jesus? Was it Pontius Pilate? Was the voters who lifted their hand for a bag of rice, piece of bread? And they killed the Jesus and put the criminal in charge, Barabbas. That is when election began and it's going on until now. Your politician come around street talk you. Oh, they got this, they got that. What the hell can they do? You are putting them there to thief. And then you're crying out later. Oh, I look at the video where one is blaming the other. Some people say Jack there is the richest man in Guyana. Now I hear it's an ordinary businessman by the name of Mr. Mohammed. Well, it doesn't matter who rich and who poor. Mr. Mohammed might accomplish his richness from his vision, his investment, or maybe from a family generation. But Jack there, if he get rich, I know he's not a magician. And therefore, it need to be questioned. But did anybody question Burnham? I think Rodney have said that about Burnham. There was a new papers in Guyana magazine. What was stated, Burnham was the richest black man in the late 70s and 80s. It called the Ebony magazine. All bookstore police was looking to move it. And if you want to get rich, join the police force. You could make charges on the road and break the law. I get so many calls. Karaya, why are you backing the Guyana government? Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I don't back government. I don't back government. If they do good, it is my honorable duty as a human being to support them. But if they do wrong, it's my duty also to expose them and oppose them. Come on. Indian people love to develop. You don't see when Burnham had the consumer business closing down, people running away, kick down bandit, kick down door, do all kind of thing. And then you all want people to love you? You mean to tell me that when people answer y'all, suddenly they don't like black people, they don't like Indian? No, we don't like what you're doing, man. But the good people, between the Indian and the black, still live on. I heard the teachers got strike, are going back on strike. I heard the opposition leader claim whether you call a strike or demonstration or protest cannot do anything. I wonder which world Mr. Norton is living in. If he really said that, I don't know. It's a lie. I am not against the man. For any government to function in any country, you must have a straightforward and a strong opposition. And I get to understand, only the black teachers then was in the picket line because the Indians stay home and they were getting their money and get what they want. Now, if these things happens to be true, fellow citizen of Guyana, then you're wrong. And Walter Rodney didn't die for black people, he died for Guyanese. Waddle didn't die for black people, he died for Guyanese. Think of it. Father Dog did not die for black people or Indian people, he died for the truth in the Catholic Standard when he was exposing the truth. Think. Washington rabbi member killed Father Dog. Heights have chased him out of Guyana and banned him from coming there. Dr. Jagan, when he became the leader, he lifted the ban so Washington rabbi could have returned because he was in the middle to help Burnham and Jagan to keep the country how they're going. Today in America, the Jagan granddaughter, a lawyer, account information, and I have a case, just wait. I'm going to hand it over for the take-on license, but I'm giving her enough time. An Amerindian woman went to her to apply for her green card or something like that because the poor, stupid Amerindian woman, the black woman, come out of the bush. She have no sense. She don't listen. She listened to gossip and went to her pay $2,500. According to the woman, it's a lad. I spoke to Jagan granddaughter. And she threatened me I can't come around to business place. Let it be known to her. If you are doing business, it must be legal because you have your license. I know politician in America, but I'm not going there yet. I know her father, I know her uncle. And according to information, not only the Amerindian woman she robbed others. It's the land. Now, the grandfather and the grandmother F up y'all in Guyana, and the granddaughter in America robbing y'all when y'all go to them, it's alleged. Is that fair? Come on. Then, I think the grandson, or one of them, is a dentist, also Joey. So when your teeth knock out, they could put it like mine. Because, don't worry, mine, I could put in mine tomorrow because I was going to put it one to screw in. I'm just waiting. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't care what you eat and you drink, you're not going to live long enough to enjoy God's word. Whether you black or you brown, why we cannot forget India of this day of arrival and Africa of the day of emancipation. If you are a Guyanese, you must speak as a Guyanese. And no black man can rule Guyana to stop Maduro from doing something when the country is divided into 6 different angles. And you all say one people, one nation, one destiny. No. When a black man rule, is one people, one nation in power. When an Indian rule, is one people, one nation in power. What happened to the Portuguese, the Chinese, and the Amerindian and the mixed race? Are they not human beings? I'm asking this question here. So when the fool calling me on the telephone, Mariah, why are you backing them? I don't back government, I back what they do. And if they do wrong, I speak out. And if they do good, I say they're doing. One thing with Indians, they might be a liar, a thief. They might do a lot of wrong things, but they love to build. And when you put money in their hand, some going to disappear. And they're the world's greatest magician of disappearing money. Like I gave you all a story a little while, let me enlighten y'all. India was ruled by England. There was a thing in England and India who got the most powerful thief. England know they got a thief in the prison, the best. But India know that many of them are thieves. So they had an agreement. And England sent their thief into Bombay, Gujarat, Calcutta. They gave him a lot of English counterfeit pound to work with. So he was accepted by the governor over there, and he was the bodyguard keeping an eye on him. Everywhere he walked in India, he ready to leave. Nobody robbed this man. So England believed now the wind, everything is good. When he get to the place to join the ship to go back to England, he met a beggar sitting there with his children begging. And he had a few English pounds and Indian money. And he decided to say before he take it to England, and this is good, let he give it to the beggar. So when he gave it to the beggar was examining it back, front. So he said to the man, old man, the money is good. Why are you examining it? And the man looked at him, and the man said these words, I am very sorry, my brother. I have to examine this one because all what you have in that suitcase is no good. The paisa in the suitcase is no good. He was shocked. He must get a heart attack. Because he know nobody touches suitcase. How does that beggar knows that? He was robbed so many times and it was put back. So you Indian are all greatest thief. And y'all can't run away from that. Y'all are the greatest actors and actresses in line and trying to control. But in Guyana, I'm calling on the decent one. Let's unite with the decent black people and the other race. Let's put an Amerindian man or woman as head of the country, administered by the rest, and they could file an action against Venezuela or anybody who claiming the sovereignty of Guyana, because those are children of Spain, grandchildren of Spain, as much as others on the Dutch and the French country and the Portuguese country. You cannot put a Chinese to claim Africa. His looks, his behavior is already identified what type of person he is. And you can't put an African to claim China or India, or Indians to claim China or Africa. Y'all are not seeing, but y'all want it y'all way. Come on. So ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to urge y'all in the name of God, let's unite. put Guyana forward. If Mr. Ali is doing good, it's our duty to support him. But if he's doing wrong, it's our duty to come together and bring an end to it. Because we had the black man and they failed us, disappoint us. We tried the coolie and the same thing. And friends and family are in the government. If it's one people, one nation, one destiny, then we should have everybody of the same caliber in the parliament. But we got more Indian and more black. Oh, and I'm an Indian. And the woman who represents the UN, the Amerindian woman, she speaks better than the Honorable President, Mr. Ali. So with that, I want to make it clear. I have nothing against the government, but we want justice. All right? We want justice. And land must be given to the people of Guyana to build a house and a salary and money to build it. Because the oil, the gold, the diamond. And we have to stop talking this nonsense. Let's unite and put Guyana forward. If it is really a cooperative, let's be active and put the cooperation to work and practice. Have a good day, and I am your host, George Correa. Thank you for listening. No offense.